All right, guys, let's take a look at this new Rolex Explorer 2 Polar. This is the 226570 using the 3285 70-hour power reserve movement. So some subtle changes. I think a lot of people would say they're subtle, but after handling them both side by side, unfortunately, I don't have the previous generation here to show that. They are pretty obvious when you see them side by side. If you can find any pictures or videos of them next to each other, there's some pretty big differences, and this newer one is definitely more legible, easier to read at a quick glance, and then of course that new movement is just superior. So let's get into it. Some specs here. Let's talk about the size. I measure the case at 42 millimeter, 50 lug to lug. You can see the beautiful polishing on that 904L stainless steel. 12.5 millimeter thick. I think it's actually like 12.4. That's not including the date magnifier. And I measure this about 22 millimeter, and then the bracelet tapers down to 17. 7 millimeter screw down crown. You're going to have 100 meter water resist on this. Best bracelet in the business. Nobody's going to argue that. Simple fold over clasp here. And you have this spring loaded retention. You have to actually activate that. So, and then a keeper as well. A little bit shorter clasp on this than, say, my Submariner. I'll show you that in a minute. And then this one uses the Easy Link system. So you just kind of pop it out and flip it over, and it'll give you an extra 5 millimeter. So if we take a closer look at the dial here, you can try to compare it to some older ones if you need to. But this one is like big and bold, super easy to read. Heavily black framed hour, minute, and indexes. Of course, that lollipopped second hand sweeping around at 4 Hertz. And then you have the splash of orange for the GMT hand and the Explorer 2 printing on the stark white dial. It's a kind of a glossy white, actually. If you can get it in the right light, you can see the gloss feature on this dial. And then you have a great date magnifier there, making it super legible. Fully brushed 24-hour bezel, super legible as well. There's a look at the crown. There's already a ton of videos out on this, guys. I'm not gonna get into all the super fine detail. I will drop in towards the end of the video some close-ups of it and some loom shots, because like I said, I'm not in my studio, so I can't replicate some things. But there it is on my 7¼ inch wrist. Wears, looks, feels great. It's going to present larger. You know, I've been used to wearing my Submariner, and it definitely is going to present larger than that. You have more dial surface there. And then with that metal bezel, it's going to just make it look larger. Well, it is a larger watch too, you know. It's 42 versus the 41. And then pretty close on the lug to lug, not too far off, but it's definitely a little bit larger watch, but crazy good legibility out of this thing. So big thanks to my buddy Detroit Spartan for letting me check out this and many other watches. These are just watches that I probably wouldn't otherwise have the chance to check out and share with you guys. And they are beautiful. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next vid.